Dear students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. Today in this module, we will be discussing about the composition of municipal solid waste. Now, municipal solid waste are a type of commingled waste, or it is a mixture of solid waste that is generated from a residential area, an institutional area, an industrial area or a commercial area. Now, in this module, we will be discussing about the various constituents of the municipal solid waste. Constituents means like it can be composed of paper, glass, metal, tin, biodegradable waste like leaf litter, fruit peels, vegetable peels, etc. Now, we will discuss what is the percentage or proportion of paper in municipal solid waste. Likewise, we will also see what is the organic proportion. We will also see what is the percentage of glass, metal, tin and other constituents in the municipal solid waste. We will also look into the rate of waste generation. We will see what is the amount of waste generated in individual countries like low income countries, high income countries, middle income countries, etc. Finally, we will also study the various factors that influence the alteration in the composition of solid waste. Now, to begin with, let us look into the learning objectives of this module. To understand the various constituents of municipal solid waste, to gain knowledge about the waste generation rate in high, middle and low income countries, to understand the various factors that will be influencing the composition of waste generated at different locations and different regions. Finally, we will also look into the status of municipal solid waste composition in India. Now, just to brush up, what is solid waste? Solid waste is defined differently in different countries by different people. For example, solid waste is commonly connoted as municipal solid waste. According to United States Environmental Protection Agency, that is US EPA, the term solid waste is referred as garbage, refuse or rubbish. Likewise, the United Kingdom refers solid waste as refuse or rubbish and is defined as waste from household as well as other waste, which because of its nature or its composition is similar to waste generated from households. Now, in India, the solid waste is categorized into 4 types. They are municipal solid waste, hazardous waste, medical waste and radioactive solid waste. According to Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, the term municipal solid waste is referred as waste that is generated from commercial and residential area. Municipal solid waste can be a solid or a semi-solid, excluding the industrial hazardous waste, but it includes the biomedical waste, that is the treated biomedical waste. Depending upon the source, MSW or municipal solid waste is further categorized into 3 types. The household waste, which arises generally from the domestic and residential areas or other colonies or townships. Commercial waste, which arise from individual large sources like hotels, office buildings, schools, etc. The institutional waste are also a sort of commercial waste. Municipal service waste, which arise from area sources like streets, parks and highways. The image shows the waste generated from the residential areas, waste generated from markets and waste generated from parks, which are generally termed as municipal service waste. Now, based on the composition of solid waste, municipal waste are categorized into 2 sections or 2 categories. One is the organic waste and the other one is inorganic waste. Organic waste, it is nothing but it consists of organic components, like examples can be the fruit, vegetable peels, other food waste, etc. Inorganic waste are waste which generate inert material at the end of combustion or burning. It includes glass, metals, paper, plastic, etc. According to the World Bank report, MSW is based or its segregated based on its composition and source, because most of the waste falls under these types. Most often inert material like the construction debris are also mixed with municipal solid waste. Now, for example, the organic waste is generated from food scraps, yard, that is leaf, grass and brush waste. Yard trimmings means every house will have some sort of a small kitchen garden, or there are lot of lawns, parks and all. The waste which is generated from these areas are termed or categorized as yard waste. Wood and other process residues are also included under organic waste. Now, paper, the sources from where paper is generated includes paper scraps, cardboard, newspaper, magazines, bags, boxes, wrapping paper, telephone books, shredded paper, papers which are used for preparation of beverage cups, and also the packing materials which is used for packing food and other materials are also the sources of paper. Paper is not categorized under organic waste. Then the sources of plastic waste are bottles, packaging, containers, bags, lids and cups. Likewise, bottles, broken glasswares, light bulbs, colored glass are sources of glasses, are sources from where glass waste is generated. Metal, sources of metal waste include cans, foils, tins, non-hazardous aerosol cans, appliances, railing materials and bicycles. Other category waste which is not included under organic, paper, plastic, glass and metal are categorized under other category, which includes clothing material, that is textiles, leather, rubber, e-waste, that is the floppy disks, computer waste and all those things are categorized as e-waste, and appliances, ash and other inert materials are all categorized under other category. The composition of solid waste, as you can see from the figure which is given on the right side, it is clear that what is the composition of a typical solid waste. The figure which is provided on the right side depicts the global solid waste composition. It is prepared based on the data report from World Bank 2014. According to World Bank, the solid waste consists of organic waste, which comprises of 46%, 17% is paper, 10% includes plastic, glass includes 5% and metals 4%, and under others category, that is e-waste, appliances, textile, leathers etc. constitutes around 18%. Now, the rate of waste generation is an indicator of socio-economic development of a region. The density and the moisture content of the various constituents of a municipal solid waste are listed in this table. As you see, it also varies from constituent to constituent. If you see, food waste consists of the highest moisture percentage of 70% and a density of 290 kilogram per meter. Likewise, the moisture content of paper ranges from 4 to 10 with a density of 85. Cardboard shows a moisture percentage of 5% and a density of 50%. Likewise, all other materials have been listed here. From the table, if you see, the maximum moisture percentage is contributed by food waste followed by yard trimmings, and density wise the maximum or the highest density is contributed by food waste and followed by wood and other miscellaneous organic substances. The lowest moisture content is present in plastics, rubber, glass and other non-ferrous metals, and the low density materials include cardboard, plastic and textiles. Now, from this slide we will understand how the waste per capita waste generation can be calculated. Now, the per capita waste generation is nothing but the amount of waste generated by one person in one day per country. Now, waste generation is equal to the amount of waste generated divided by per capita day. The unit for representation of waste generation includes kilogram per capita per day. The waste generation is affected by the economic ability and hence it is strongly correlated to the GDP of the country. The amount of waste generation in India ranges from 0.37 per kg per capita per day. That means one person generates around 0.37 kg, that is 370 grams of solid waste in one day. Same way, if you see, China generates around 0.70 kilogram, that is 700 grams per day, and USA generates 2 kilogram per capita per day. In India, the per capita waste generation is increasing at the rate of 1.3% per year. Cities in the southern state of India generate highest amount of waste, that is around 570 gram per capita per day, whereas the western states of India generate a slightly lesser amount of waste, around 440 gram per day, that is 0.44 kilogram per capita per day. Now, as I told you earlier, there are lot of factors which influence the composition of solid waste. So, we will discuss about the various factors that is influencing the composition of solid waste. To begin with, the economic development plays an important role in influencing the composition of solid waste. For example, the low income country, the composition of waste differs from low income country to high income country. Example, paper and other recyclable materials are more common in high income countries when compared to a low income country. Likewise, if you see, the organic fraction of waste, which includes the fruit peels, vegetable peels, food waste, etc., are higher in low income country than high income country. Paper, glass and other ferrous and non-ferrous metals are also high in high income country. It all depends upon the usage of material in a particular region, that is high income country, low or middle income country. High income country will always be sophisticated. So, they keep using sophisticated items like the usage of appliances, everything will be more when compared to a low income country. So, that is why the amount of metal or the scrap generation is high in high income country. Now, this table shows the type of waste composition based on the income level. From this table, it is clear that the organic fraction of waste is high in low income country when compared to a high income country, with 64% in low income country and lowest 28% in high income country. Lower and upper middle income country ranges between 54 to 59%. Paper is high in high income country when compared to a low income country, showing a 5% paper in the composition of municipal waste. Lower and upper middle country ranges between 9 to 14%. The plastic waste generation is also high in high income country. Also, the lower middle and the upper middle income country are also producing an equal amount of plastic waste, around 11 to 12%. Low income country are also in pace with the other income countries. Almost 8% of plastic waste is generated from low income country. As we all know, in today's lifestyle, plastic usage is very high irrespective of the economic level of a specific country, because lot of plastic is being used in packaging material, and even everyday life we come across a lot of materials where plastic is being used. Likewise, glass is high in high income country, whereas in low and low middle income country it constitutes around 3% of municipal solid waste. In other category also you cannot find a major difference. It is around 15 to 17% in low and high income country. Now, the geographical location also influences the composition of waste, and especially you can relate it to climate. Climate influences the amount of waste generation. For example, in the southern states of India, where you have a comparatively longer period of warm climate, there the amount of yard waste generation is high. Yard waste means leaf litter, twigs, the barks, leaf trimmings, etc. Okay. Their generation is very high in southern states when compared to northern states, where the climate, the winter season is little, the winter season exists. Similar to climate, the seasons also influence the composition of waste. For example, the growing season of vegetables and fruits affect the quantity of food waste. If you have warm summer, then more fruits and vegetables are produced, then more, which will lead to generation of more quantity of food waste. Cultural norms also influence the waste composition. Cultural norms means like the rural settlement, the urban settlement, people who are living in tribal area, there the waste generation will vary. For example, rural area, the amount of waste generation, especially the usage of paper, will be less. Likewise, even in tribal areas, the usage of paper will be less, because they will prefer more leaves. Like for example, here in urban settlement, the food which we buy from hotels are in a proper sealed packets, whereas if you go to a rural area or a tribal area, they serve food in leaves, which they serve food in leaf plates. That can be a good example of cultural norms. The next factor which will influence or alter the composition of municipal waste is public attitude. Education and attitude of people will also influence the waste composition. For example, people who are educated will have more idea of reusing the waste, recycling, use of more biodegradable waste, because in recent times the waste management problem is alarming and it is gaining a lot of attention. So, people are aware and they know how to use and what is the importance or significance of using a material which is made up of biodegradable material. The last factor which also influences or play an important role in the composition of waste is legislation. When you have strict law, rules and regulations, obviously people will understand the significance and they will reduce the usage of paper and other electronic items. This will again alter the waste composition. This will again alter the waste composition from a low to a high income country. Now, let us look into the composition or the state of municipal solid waste in India. Now, according to the 2011 census, 32% of the population of country stay in urban area. When people move to urban area, this leads to rapid urbanization. When people move to urban area, again the use of resources are very high, they need a proper infrastructure and energy requirement. Along with this, they also generate a huge amount of waste. The volume of municipal solid waste increases, which pose a lot of risk to the health and the environment. The composition of municipal waste in India, especially urban India, it consists of or it constitutes 51% of organic waste, 17.5% recyclables and inert material is about 31%. Presently in India, we do not have a proper waste management system. Also, we lack storage and segregation of waste at source because of lack of awareness among public. They do not know how to participate in the management of waste. Secondly, there is no proper public system for waste collection from the primary sources, and so the municipal sanitation worker collect the waste thrown in streets and public open places on an irregular basis. Two types of waste management has been presently practiced in India, such as aerobic and anaerobic digestion of organic matter. So, this table will provide the composition of municipal solid waste in India. If you see the compostable, which originates from the food waste, landscape and tree trimmings. Recyclables, which are paper, cardboard, plastic, glass and metals. Inerts, which comes from stone and silt, bones and other inorganic material. The construction and demolition debris also are included under inert waste. To summarize, in this module we started by discussing what is solid waste, how it is denoted by US EPA, United Kingdom and Indian government, that is MOEF. We also discussed about what are the different constituents of waste in the waste composition and what are the major percentage of paper, glass, organic and other constituents of waste. We also discussed about the various factors that are influencing the composition of waste from low to high income countries. Finally, we also looked into the status of the composition of municipal waste in India. Thank you.